Well, for us so far, it's the coldest day of the year. It's supposed to go below freezing tonight. We wanted to get everything winterized, but before we make any rash decisions, we want to get another ride on the Mt09 and use up what's looking like the end of the fall rides. So I get up really early this morning, which was a mistake. It's really cold out there now. We're starting to get to that part of the year where the weatherman is not always exactly right about this temperature. And we have a real frost warning. And when that happens, of course, there's certain things I do around, get all my stuff down the cellar. I'm just going to be smart about this. Do all that first, and then try to get a ride in this afternoon if it warms up a bit. I like it to at least be 40 degrees. Less chance of getting these real slippery little spots on the road. Now, one thing I haven't done yet, because I've had these all summer, I haven't put these to the test on some little, when the temperatures are right about where they are now. The wet spot, early in the morning, sometimes they're a little slippery. I haven't put these to the test yet, but I will with the traction control. I think it'll be a whole lot better than having a no traction control bike. A lot safer anyway. And I've really come to appreciate the combination of the Michelin 5s and the traction control has really made me feel a lot more secure when the roads get slippery, and this time of year they're almost always slippery. And to be candid and honest, I do like practicing my photography and video skills with these beautiful leaves everywhere, and with that little tripod. I've been having some fun with that. I've just been trying to take advantage of go to war with the tripod I have. And before I head out, of course, there's leaves in the pond, and it's a mess. I get all this done. The further off into the day I can put the ride, the warmer it'll be. And in checking the weather, it's supposed to go to 45 by lunchtime. You know, that's the kind of thing, when you're in the 30s, high 30s, low 40s, even a couple of degrees really makes a difference. Right? We even still have a few flowers, so it's good to be alive, that's for sure. We want to get out on the open road. Now, because we have a frost warning for tonight, one of the things I'm going to do is bring in all the lithium-ion batteries and battery chargers that go to my lawn equipment. And this battery in particular, pretty expensive. But anyway, I know they do better in the cellar, and then to put them on charge regularly. I learned my lesson last year. And the buckets that have all the spare waxes and Meguiar's and all the 8065 and everything, I want to bring all that in where it's not going to freeze. That's a good tip, by the way. Now, as of today, too, our booster battery, we're going to bring that down in the cellar every day that potentially could go below freezing. Now, I know, because I'm very religious about keeping a battery tender on all the batteries and flipping it at least once or twice a day. So I get all the bikes charged at least once every 2 or 3 days, right up. And I want them all ready to ride, of course. But I learned a lesson again with that lithium-ion battery, that if you don't charge it every 2 months, and it came as good advice from somebody who really knows, and so far so good. Every 2 months I charge the lithium batteries, and I keep really good track of them. And I do keep a log of when I charge that booster battery, and I'm trying to be religious about it every 2 months, and then I do all the batteries at the same time, once every 2 months. Now, as we move into the battery age where everything, and I'm trying to replace all my gas weed whackers and stuff with these ones with batteries. If you neglect these batteries, they're expensive. So, and the same thing what I try to do with the motorcycle batteries, I try to keep all the electronic stuff that has to be charged all in one area here. And the whole reason, it's pretty simple, because then I don't forget. Well, I don't forget as often. Now, I don't know for sure about all these chemicals, but, you know, some of them on the label it says keep from freezing. I don't know. But I know I have let it sit out there all winter, sometimes in the spring, and it would be totally unhomogenized, and just never seemed to work the way it should. And one by one, we're getting all our projects ready for this winter. The table is loading up, and pretty soon this is all going to be ready to go. We've had some real nice footage with the little tripod. I hope that's working out if anybody else has interest in that. I already posted the video. And usually after we have the first hard frost, most of the leaves in the neighborhood are on the ground. You can see quite a few of them are on the ground already. Where we ride today, I'm sure there are not going to be many leaves left on a tree. We had a pretty big storm come through here last night. But there still are a couple of beautiful trees in the neighborhood. And this time of year, though, any day, that could be history. Oh, it's 42 degrees already. Time to ride. Now, I was surprised how cold it was when I was outside for a while. Yeah, I got to start wearing a coat in the morning. And part of every day's little operation is taking care of the leaves. They are falling. They are coming down like crazy. One more cup of coffee and we'll be out the door. And it is warming up a bit, but not much. Now, of course, the leaves are absolutely gorgeous this time of year, but there's always a good side and a bad side to everything. It's nice when you're doing photography like this, you get to frame up a lot of nice pictures. But boy, when a few of them blow out onto the road and there's some little wet spots and then the leaves stick to the wet spots and and boy, did I make use of the traction control today. The traction control on this bike is just perfect for me. And what's nice on any roads that are relatively slippery or you have these wet spots or places where the wet leaves are, an engine that makes a lot of torque is a lot easier to control than an engine you got to spin to 15,000 to get it to do something. So that's just one of the advantages, one of the things I like about the MT09, that low end torque. And I think of it every time I ride this bike, how much I've enjoyed that quick shifter. That's the cherry on the sundae for this bike. Gobs of low end torque and a quick shifter just make for a lot of entertainment for every ride. And the reality is, it's not going to be long, and all these beautiful red and orange and beautiful leaves everywhere, they're all going to be brown, they're all going to be on the ground, and then sooner or later, we're going to have these naked trees. The backdrops of these pictures will not be anywhere near this scenic, and usually that time of year, it's just not as much fun as when everything is a beautiful scenic backdrop like it is now. And basically, most of the summer I dealt with detours and roads shut, and they were grinding up roads, and intermittently roads would be shut in the middle or at one end, and they'd be turning you on these back roads. And you know what happened? Now that they're all repaved, and I've really suffered through a lot of stuff this summer, almost every road in this area has been repaved, and it's absolutely like heaven on earth. And another thing I've always tried to mention, in fact, I try to mention it so as often as possible, how good these Michelin 5s have been on this bike and how well they handle these wet, slippery conditions where the traction control is kicking on from time to time. They are just really great. And it's an amazing thing to me how nature operates like this and how they make these trees so beautiful and how those leaves all fall on the ground and then it snows, and when the snow melts some of the leaves are missing, and in the spring seems like they're almost all gone, and then we go through that cycle again where everything starts to get beautiful. Now, because it was so cold this morning, and it really was, this was probably the coldest ride I've had this year. And what happened is I was thinking, oh boy, this would have been a nice day to have that windshield installed. But hey, it's coming. It's coming from China. It's probably in the middle of the ocean. I hope the boat doesn't sink. And when I pulled in for gas today, I thought how lucky I am to have a bike. I'm getting 50 miles to the gallon. If I was riding the RD around, I'd have to have more money in my wallet. That's what two strokes do best. But it's amazing that Yamaha can get that great mileage. You get over 50 miles to the gallon most of the time, or around 50 if you're really on it and going through the gears. It's an amazing thing to get that much power for that good mileage. And after you're in the saddle a few hours, you start to appreciate that seat. The seat, and it's really funny. You look at the seat, you think, well, that's a pretty skinny seat. You know what it is? It's a skinny seat where the passenger sits. And since I don't ride passengers, I don't really care. You can saw that off with a hacksaw. Where I am, it's comfortable. And to be honest, I've been making myself crazy lately, adjusting the suspension in the beginning of the ride, making 2 clicks in, and I'm on the way home, 2 clicks out, and making myself crazy when it's really good almost no matter what setting you put it in. And I'm winding up with almost all the settings a little bit on the hard side, off the middle. And you know what? Probably I'll change it more as the winter goes on. We have 4 of the bikes in the collection now with forks that are lowered. And the last one is going to be the FZR, the next work day we get that it's raining or storming or something. That's on my to-do list. And I've had really good results with all the bikes, but mostly the Mt09 responded well. Thinking of the things I want to do, of course, over the winter, a windshield for the cold weather. Not sure it's going to make a big difference, but it can't hurt. And the big one, the custom silver wheels, that'll be on our channel as soon as we get bedded in for the winter. But until that first snow falls and kind of puts the kibosh on our riding, or we get down into the temperatures where the roads have ice on them, until that time comes, I like to try to get every single ride I can. There's just nothing better for me. It's my exercise, mental exercise, physical exercise, and it encourages me to drink more coffee when I get home. And of course, I count it as one of the blessings of my life that I've been able to arrange my life and live my life, that at this point, I do get to go out to the garage and ride every day. And I wonder if I didn't ride every day, if I got involved in something else, I don't know if it would be better or worse. But I know this is working pretty well for me. Normally I take Route 80 back when I decide to turn around and head back, but today I want to head back the back way that goes past Lincoln Park Airport. And there's always something going on at Lincoln Park Airport. There's a couple of tail draggers there, and I never know, they give helicopter lessons. It's a great way to take a 5-minute break when you go past the airport. Now, I heard the Valentine go off right by Lincoln Park Airport here. I was parked a little bit out in the road, as you probably could see. And I heard the gendarmes were coming from a mile away. I got the bike moved. I didn't get this. I wanted to see the plane take off, but it was more important to get out of there before they put the net around me. And it's something a little sad when you get to the end of every basic riding season, I guess is the right way to put it. And you know, time is limited. You know, you're playing in the bottom of the 9th here, and yeah, may get a few more rides. You may get this or that, but basically, the really cold weather is on its way here already. And whenever I go past the golf course, I stop, maybe I'll take a picture or two, and I look at the people playing golf, and I know they're getting good exercise, staying mentally alert, and I know they're looking at me and saying, what is that guy doing riding in this cold weather? Why doesn't he just go home and drink coffee? And that's pretty much what I'm going to do right now. And of course, anytime I go past an airport and I see the people fueling up the planes, and it's a beautiful day for flying today, and I just think to myself, the days I had the air coupe, I had it for about 7 years, and all the hours I put into it, and flying with the cockpit open, boy, it's just great nostalgia. And Karen is always pretty happy about the fact that I don't have an airplane anymore. She'd much rather me be out on a motorcycle. And we enjoyed a circle of friends that we've made since we've been riding motorcycles in the last 20 years or so. And we've really developed a nice group, the A-Team, which is kind of scattered around the planet. Some people have passed on. But we still have the core of the friends we've made through motorcycling, and we see them on a regular basis. And that last half hour until I actually pulled into the driveway, and as I pulled into the driveway, Karen yelled out, "Do you want coffee?" What I want is a warm hot tub. Anyway, I got to get acclimated to the cold weather. The next month or so. It's not going to get any warmer. I'm not going to wake up and it's going to be 80 degrees anymore. We had such a wonderful summer. I don't regret 1 minute of this whole season, this whole year, or 1 minute since the day Karen bought me the Mt09. It turned out to be a really nice day, except it really was cold. I'm freezing. I gotta go have 10 more cups of coffee. And because the leaves are falling, there's not much you can do about it. Just there's some slippery spots out there. Thank you for traction control. Anyway, it's all part of owning an Mt09 and getting used to all the features and trying to enjoy it to the max. Now, I try to post up a video almost every day, and one of the things I do is when the real winter gets here, with this snow on the ground and ice and everything, and it's 18 degrees, I go over to the television that I have in my shop. I actually have 2 TVs, and turn on the warmest day on YouTube of a ride that I had when I was sweating and wishing I could just get home to air conditioning. Well, today I was glad to get home. Karen had the heat on in the house. She knows I got to warm up. She had the biggest, warmest cup of coffee I've ever had. And as I always say, thank you, Karen. So if you enjoyed the video, I hope you share it with your friends. And of course, I hope, most of all, that we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks again for watching.